What's up, everyone? My name is Koury Johnson. I am the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach at Wilmington High School. If you guys would like to reach out to me, I have my phone number down there. I also have my work email down there. I did not put my Twitter handle on there, but it is at Coach KJ Senior on Twitter. Just feel free to reach out to me with any questions. I'll be glad to help anyone that may need it, offer some type of insight. I do not have all the answers, but I feel like I can offer a little bit of assistance to whoever needed. So, with that being said, today we're going to talk about counter, just kind of the basic forms of how we run it. Counter was one of our better plays last year. So, we're really excited. Let's go ahead and get into it. Before I get started in the actual talk, I would like to acknowledge a wonderful staff that I'm blessed to be a part of. I don't believe anything can be successful without great people around you. Ryan Evans being the head coach, he did a phenomenal job of supporting me, supporting my vision. If there was some things that we need to discuss, he was always great about, hey, let's talk about this, but you are the offensive coordinator. So, as long as it sounds and makes sense and, everybody has an input, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it the way you envision it. So he was great about giving ownership to me. Offensive line, Joe Gigante, he did a phenomenal job of just creating some sound beast up front. Kyle Davis, our running backs coach, great guy, great young coach. He's going to be a phenomenal offensive coordinator, phenomenal head coach one day. Mike Brown, top notch wide receiver coach. Aaron Thompson, I believe a great offense must be paired with a great defense. And AT did a phenomenal job of getting our guys in position to be successful on the field. And then Marcus Stewart, my guy, DB coach, trained those guys to be lockdown corners. So that's our coaching staff. Like I said, I'm blessed to be a part of this, such a wonderful staff like this one. All right, so let's talk about the why of counter. And this is specific to us. I know everybody kind of has the same philosophy. Let's have a physical downhill presence, but this was really true to us. When I accepted the job at Wilmington High School, one of the very first conversations that me and Coach Evans had was he wanted us to be a sound, physical downhill run team. I believe counter was one of the concepts, one of our top concepts that allowed us to live in that identity. So it allowed us to establish a physical downhill philosophy, which was Coach Evans' vision. It caters to the strength of our offensive line, allows us to gain a numbers advantage by bringing our athletic offensive linemen play side. It was versatile, which pretty much meant we can run it out of any personnel grouping. We can run it out of any formation. Though the formation changes, it changes the look. Counter is counter for us. Once again, that physical downhill concept, I will harp on that because that was something that we preached to our guys. Hey, let's be physical. Let's come downhill. Let's lean on some guys. Let's make sure we're tough at the point of attack. And counter allowed us to live in that. And then it got us out of tough situations. Everybody has something that they want to hang their hat on. Counter happened to be that for me. I always joke with guys around that I talk with and say, hey, counter is God's favorite play. I really believe that, and it showed itself true to me. And this is, will always be one of my favorite concepts, whether I'm able to get our guys to run it well or not. This will always be one of my favorite concepts. Let's talk about the how. All right, we work our double teams to backer. We have a pull wall. We have a pull kick. We can kind of discuss the steps of the O lineman for the pull wall, pull kick individuals. That's not the topic of today. If that's something that you would like to discuss, you can definitely reach out to me. Our offensive line coach did a phenomenal job of giving those guys the tools to be successful on those pull walls and those pull kicks. Our running backs, and this might be a little bit different than what other people teach. Be patient. Press the A gap. We emphasize pressing the A gap because that allows us to stay downhill. Once you are pressing that A gap, it's almost like you're delivering, our running backs are delivering the defenders to the blockers. Once you press that A gap, you connect to that puller, and you should follow those big athletes in front of you. I heard a coach say it, and I didn't think about it until he said it. If the guards and the tackles can fill in the gap, so can you. Make your cut off of that puller. Don't try to outrun him. I get it. Sometimes they may be moving their hair slower than what you like, but that's where the patience come in, and that's where you really see success on this concept, is when the running back is able to be patient and then make his cuts off the pullers. And then the quarterbacks, if a read is connected, read the C gap defender, but give unless. And that's something that we emphasize. And at a certain point, even if we ran this out of 10 personnel, I was telling my quarterback, give it. I honestly trust my running backs to get me 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, even with the defender unblocked. Yes, I know. What if he squeezes? What if he does this? What if they scrape exchange? All those type of questions. I totally get it. I tell my guys, hey, read it. Make sure you read it. Make him believe that you're going to carry the football, but give the ball unless. And some guys teach, read the V-neck, read the eyes, read the shoulders, all that kind of stuff. Hey, if you can beat him to the edge, that's when you should pull it. If we have really good athletes in the backfield, which we did, 1,500-yard rushers this year, or one was 1,506, the other one was like 1,366. So 2,000, 1,200 plus rushers this year. Those are really good athletes. Give unless. And then I also tell my quarterbacks, when you are tagged, get mean. What does that mean? Don't tippy toe. If you're going to run the ball, run the ball. All right. So make sure you read, give unless, and if you're tagged, get mean. Here's our basic rules. It's the same rules everybody uses. Gap down, double the backer. Gap down, double the backer. Center is man on, man away. I know that's kind of subjective to each coach. Some coach prefers the center to block back. If there's even if there's an odd front defense, some coaches, double the nose. That's kind of subjective. Once again, that's not what the talk is about. These are our basic rules. We tell our guys, hey, follow your rules. If the front changes, that may change where the double team happens. I prefer the double team on this, especially on the nose guard. I want that double team, open up that A gap just a hair wider, and they're double back to that backer. But work your rules regardless of the front. Pull kick, first defender outside of the play side tackle, and then pull wall for the first backer, play side in the box. All right, looks don't change our rules, and I think that's important to understand, is that if you work your rules, you will be perfectly fine. So if you have a double team and the guy walks up into the A gap and part of your rules is down, you got to block down, that's your sole priority. So the looks don't really change our rules. We just make sure we stay true to them. And then if everyone walks up, we decide to keep the concept on, everyone is down, pull wall, pull kick. Rules don't change. Issues and answers. I just briefly spoke about 4 eyes, 0 4 eyes. Teams that like to blitz the overhangs. We got a couple of different ways that we can handle that. We can arc the play side safety, have him kick that overhang, and with that, hoping that we can cause the 4 eye to kind of widen out. And so we can kick him. If not, we also have the option of washing him down and making counter one gap wider. Once again, rules don't change. Our guys did a really, really, really good job. And I will keep mentioning Joe Gigante, our offensive line coach. Man, he did a phenomenal job of coaching our dudes how to adjust on the fly. And there's some clips that you will see that they were able to adjust because those guys were trying to close down on our double team or on our down blocks. I'm sorry. They were trying to close down on our down blocks. Joe taught them how to adjust on the fly. And so that helped us in a lot of game-like situations. Loaded box, once again, lineman block down, pull wall, pull kick. It might eliminate the double team, but you're still able to get a hat on the hat and create creases. And then Jimmy's and Joe's, this is one that I think is very important. If their guys are better than your guys, you can either run a different scheme or minimize the bleeding. What do I mean by minimizing the bleeding? Sometimes you get in those situations where no matter what you do, their dudes will always be better than your dudes. There's nothing you can call that's going to make your dudes better than their dudes. It will happen. Yeah. If you coach long enough, you'll definitely be in more than one situation. Sometimes 10 situations in one season. It happens. Just keep coaching, keep grinding it out, keep making your players better. So this is kind of how we would handle it. If this is an odd front look, once again, this is just the basis, no tags, no adjustments, anything like that. This is just the base way of how we handle it versus a 3-3 stack or like an odd front defense. Here's how we would handle it versus a 4 down front, more like your 4-2-5. Just once again, the basics of how everybody else handles it. You got blocking down, man on, man away, gap down backer, the double team back to the minus backer, and then we're pull kicking, C gap defender, pull wall and first backer, place out in the box. Let's get into some film. All right, so this film is this team, they kind of showed up in a different look than what we expected them to do. And this is just kind of one of the variations that we used. I put this in here just to show, hey, even if it looks a little wonky as far as how the defense is aligned, follow your rules. Running back, press the A gap. You see the green, get mean. All right. Once again, he's pressing the A gap. So do we fit up? And then let's show the back view. Do we kind of fit up on those guys how we kind of expected? Yeah. That can kind of be subjective. We had to adjust on the fly. But at the end of the day, we told our guys, hey, follow your rules, press that A gap. And there go. I know it's kind of froze in the middle, but here goes a crease right here. And notice, we say press the A gap. There's the A gap right there. All right. Once again, follow your rules. Even if they get kind of aligned wonky, it still creates success. And there is our running back. He's just being an athlete, breaking tackles, getting to the end zone. Here's another clip just from like a condensed look. Once again, we kind of adjust on the fly. No, it doesn't change our rules. Did we have to change our track just a hair? Yes, we did. But it still allowed us to be successful because we followed our rules. Would I like to see him get inside of that kick out block? Yes. But did he have to adjust on the fly? Yes. Was it a good play for us? Yes. This is why I love counter, because a lot of times you can catch those guys overrunning. Another clip. Same person, same game. Once again, press the A gap. This is our second running back. It's actually our backup running back. Or I really don't consider those guys like starter and backup, because at any given time you could have seen either one of them. But once again, we're blocking back, we're pulling around, pull walling, we're pull kicking. We follow our rules. We press the A gap, hit the A gap. There's nothing but green grass in front of us. But this center right here, I do want to give him kudos. He was a sophomore, first year starter, had a lot of questions at that position early in the year. Felt like this young man did, he's a sophomore. So he played like a sophomore, but I think he did a phenomenal job of really anchoring down and blocking back and not giving up momentum. Now, does he make a punishing block here? Probably not. Does he give up ground? Probably so. Does he get his defender out of the A gap and prevent him from making a play on the runner ball carrier? Yes, he does. And that's what I give my guys kudos for. That's what I love about counter. You don't necessarily need to make a punishing block. You don't have to ear hold guys. You don't have to necessarily get guys on the ground. Do we want that stuff? Yes, we do. Do we want it more physical? Yes, we do. Did his guy make a play? No, he did not. It's the same thing with the tackle that's blocking on that linebacker. Is it overly physical? Maybe not. Does he get in the way long enough for our running back to spring it? Yes, he does. Is his guy able to make a play off of his block? No, he's not. We're just pressing our A gap, following our guys. That's all we do. That's why I love this concept. This is our playoff game, our first playoff game. This team did a really good job of just kind of adjusting and getting guys to fit in the hole. But once again, what you'll see here, we follow our rules. We're pressing the A gap. It's one of those type deals where, if we needed to get 5 or 6, 4 or 5, whatever, we were able to hang our hat here. This is what we were able to do. Press the A gap. Yes, it's muddy in there. Are we getting overly physical blocks? No. Are we moving guys like tremendously? Maybe not. But are we opening up just enough of a crease for our guy to be able to get a good 4 or 5 yards? Yes, we are. Once again, it gets you out of those kind of tough situations. It is a great play to hang your hat on because of the nature of what you're able to do within the scheme. And you can see, even though he didn't, I will run it back just a hair. There, that's the A gap right there. It's jumbled up in there. Yes, it is. Is there a hole? Yes. Is it kind of small? Yes. But my running back is still able to get 4 or 5 yards. Why? Because our guys are just following their rules. Does it get hectic in there sometimes? Yes, it does. But if you follow your rules, you will be okay. 4 or 5 yards is not a bad play. At least in our eyes, it is not a bad play. I know, they say spread guys want the end zone every single play. Yes, we do. But we preach 4 to 5 yards of play, which gets us the first down in 3. Here's another program that did a phenomenal job of just kind of squeezing. And I show this, put this clip on here because occasionally you will get backside linebackers that will scrape through and disrupt the play. When we tell our guys is the other part, once again, we're not talking about offensive line play here, but I think it's a key ingredient to tell your double team guys, hey, make sure your eyes is on your backside backer. Otherwise, you can whiff and he will make the play in the hole. It kind of shows it happening here. He comes through, he makes the play. There's the initial hole. If we just go ahead and get our eyes to the backside guy, we got to play there. So I think that's something that's important to coach your dudes up. Hey, make sure your eyes is on where you need to get it to. So this is one right here, and I'm gonna rewind it back. This is one where they were kind of squeezing our down blocks. We knew going into it that would kind of be their point of attack. I know it kind of starts in the middle of the play. We telling our guys, hey, you may have to adjust on the fly. Now, I got this paused here because I want you to see. You can already see as a play has already started that he's squeezing our down blocks. Our objective was to get around those guys. Now, once we watched everything down, we got around them. Really, the safety is the only one who can make a play. we kind of got on our wide receivers here because the guy covering the slot, he folded in, which he doesn't affect the play, but he definitely gets there. He definitely could have. So even with that, we tell our guys, hey, be coachable, be adjustable on the fly, work your techniques, work your rules. If we got to go one gap wider, both of the pullers just go one gap wider, and now we're looking for people to hit. The back view of this is kind of rusty, but you can kind of see it just gives, once again, it gives you an idea of work your rules. If guys are trying to squeeze and pinch and all the fancy stuff that they like to do, that's fine. Work your rules, stay on your track, get to the end zone. Our running back did a phenomenal job of following his pullers. Here it goes again, just another concept where they showed us a different look than what we anticipated. Let me see if I got the back view. So kind of how we expected. We didn't expect them to line up like this. They gave us that. It looks like a 50 front, which once again, work your rules. Now, a couple of these clips, it might not be this one, might be one of the other ones coming up. You'll see a linebacker just kind of standing there. He doesn't affect the play. Why? Because our running back stayed true to his rules. Our lineman stayed true to his rules, and it was the backside guy. He delivered the defenders to our blockers, which put us in a really good situation. Once again, and I keep saying it, if you follow your rules, everything else will kind of work itself out. See them squeezing and we having to go one gap wider. Once again, follow your rules. Do we get caught? Yes. A big point of emphasis this year is speed development for our guys. However, they did a phenomenal job of just following their rules. Center, once again, center is a sophomore. Does he get a big punishing block? No. Does his guy cross his face? No. Is that what we preach? Yes. Do not allow anybody to cross your face. We don't need you to be overly physical. We don't need you to get guys on the ground. We need you to at least get in the way. Now, will we like him on the ground? Yes. Will we like to create the extra space? Yes, but you get no run through because our offensive linemen are just working their techniques. Now, as I've said earlier, this gets us out of tough situations. I don't know if you can see the down marker, but this was like 3rd and 1. Defense was doing a pretty good job of kind of holding us tight to just kind of getting us to play not how we wanted to, if that makes sense. But once again, counter bailed us out. Why? Because we got our eyes up. We worked our techniques. We got to our guys. Easy. I wouldn't say easy, but a gain of 6. And running back, once again, he's just being physical, being a tough runner. Once again, does a center give up a little bit of ground? Yes, he does. Does this guy make the play? No. Does he open up the A gap? Yes. Would I like to see him be a lot more physical, be a lot lower, work his techniques a little bit better? Yes, I would. But he creates a hole for us to get through. So while he may not have got an A+ on this particular play, he definitely didn't score low because he created a lane for us to run through. Once again, he's a sophomore. So at times, and all coaches can attest, the young guys, you just gotta work with those guys and take what you can get from them. Does he open it up? Yes, he does. Is it gritty? Yes, it is. But if we work our techniques, everything works itself out. This is the clip where I was telling you the linebacker is froze. I don't know if you just seen him. He's a guy that's kind of stumbling over all these blockers. Would I want to see a whole lot of this? Yes, I would. Do I love that? Yes, I do. Do we get it every play? No, we don't. Does it create a alley because our guys are working their technique? Yes, it does. These are all questions that Counter has answered for us when what we were looking for, Counter did it for us. Show the back view of this. So you'll see Here's the lane right here. And this is why it's important for our running backs to stay patient. When I talk about patience, this is what I mean. A running back sees the alley here, but what does he see? An unblocked defender approaching that same alley. If he decides to say, "Hey, let's play the toughness game, and I'm gonna run through you," does he potentially run through him? Yes. Does that kid stop us for a 2 yard gain? Yes, potentially. Does it happen here? No. Why? Because our running back was patient enough to understand if I follow my pullers, press the A gap, connect to the pullers, that's where all the success of this play comes from. And there is the wash. So once again, do we get punishing blocks? No. Do we lean on guys? Yes. Are we staying true to our rules? Yes. Does it create success within the concept? Yes, it does. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for us to stay true to our rules and follow our pullers. Here's the game earlier where we were down by the end zone and the defensive ends were squeezing. Here's one where now he's running up the field. Once again, you've seen in one game 2 different ways that a defense can defend this concept. We tell our guys, follow your rules. If you follow your rules, everything works itself out. Kick. We watch the pull wall defender down, and what do? We get a gain of 10 or maybe a gain of 9, whatever. It's a first down. They're moving the chains. This is a really good way to keep the chains moving. Sun is killing us, but you can still see kind of the lane that opens up. We follow our rules. So that was the last clip. It was actually one more that I wanted to pull up. I'll pull that up real quick. All right, here we are. 1st and 10. Phenomenal defense that we have caused a turnover on maybe the 3 or 4 yard line. We're backed up, backs against the wall. All right. Now, I want to set the stage for this. We had called a timeout before this, and one of our players said, "Hey, coach, if we run this concept, it might be a unblocked guy." But the way this defender right here was playing the entire night is he was trying to set the edge. I told my guys, if you follow your techniques, he may be unblocked, but he won't even affect the concept. We don't want unblocked defenders especially on the front side of this play. But because he's a safety, he walked down. We were kind of gashing him with the run game altogether the entire night. This was their answer. Walk down. Let's kind of funnel him inside. The problem with that is our guys worked their techniques, which opens up a huge lane, and you can kind of see the results of what happens. So there he is. You're like, okay, he's coming downhill. He's setting the edge. That's fine because we end up blocking this defender right here into him, which is what actually opens up the line. We press our A gap. I want to turn it on the back view, and then I'll put it back on the wide view. So once again, do we get big punishing blocks? It's subjective. Do guys cross our face? No. Do we get a whole lot of movement? No. But do us working our techniques create creases in the defense? Yes, it does. There's the lane right there. This is our puller right here. This is what's going to open up. All right. That defender is not even in the screen. So because we are following our techniques, we're following our rules, it keeps us in a good spot to bust a big run. Does he fold back in? Yes. Does he make the play? No, it's not enough. We followed our techniques and we were able to do what we needed to do. If you have any questions, I'll put my information back up on the screen. Once again, here's my phone number, 513-725-7364. Here's my school email down there, and you can reach out to me on Twitter as well. I'm very active on social media, so you can hit me up on any of those avenues. And my Twitter handle is at Coach KJ Senior. Once again, that's at Coach KJ Senior. Thank you. You guys have a great rest of your day, and go Hurricane.